So about 20 minutes ago, my mom elbowed me in the face
Yeah, I'd had enough.
while I was holding coffee in the car and spilled it all over my white pants.
And I didn't even know I'd done it.
Yeah, she's like, "What? What's wrong?" And like annoyed with me as if she had just elbowed me in the face.
One time we were on a train coming back from Boston or New York. And
New York on the bus.
New York on the bus.
Yeah.
Oh, details.
Yeah.
And Hillary had a fancy bag, like a designer sort of type bag.
I had just gotten it.
Just gotten it. And we were at our limit. It was day 3 of being together. And
I think you're getting all of the details wrong. Wrong. First of all, I'd just like to say it wasn't that fancy of a bag, but it was a new bag that I had gotten. And we were on our way to New York because I had a bunch of stuff in there I wanted to use.
No, we were
for
on
New
our
York.
way home.
No.
I swear we were on our way
No,
home.
because it had stuff in there I wanted to use for New York, and I was so upset that it was just covered in coffee.
I think she's got the
There's
details
still a
wrong.
stain at the bottom of the bag.
At any rate, I somehow dumped my coffee cup into her bag. Like I think,
Not once.
Was your computer
Twice.
there? Was your computer in
No,
the
no,
bag?
no. I don't think I
Anyway.
would brought my computer.
And when something happens like that with Hillary, it takes a while to get through it. She has to bumble and stumble and complain for like generally about 32 minutes. And then,
32 minutes.
then she'll be like, okay, I'm over that.
Yeah, I literally just today I just had to separate myself from you, and I set up the whole podcast, and then I was like, okay, I'm over it. I literally said that I'm over it. I just
I think
need
that was about 32 minutes.
I needed to have a minute to myself. Well, I gotta say, no, I think I was much better when you spilled it. I was like, it's okay, things happen. But then she did it again. It was it happened
on the bus.
It happened twice in a row. I had just cleaned
did
it
I
all
do
up.
it?
How do you do anything? I don't know. It was cuckoo bananas. Welcome back to our podcast called My Mother's Diaries, if you don't already know. We're recovering from a vintage market we had yesterday.
Which
that
was really fun.
Amazing. It was at the Brooklyn General Store in Brooklyn, Maine. And
Which is a little town right on the coast of Maine.
it's beautiful. If you ever get a chance to go there, it's worth it. It's so beautiful.
It's like the quintessential.
yeah, it's what
Maine
you like
town.
when you picture Maine on the coast. It is that. It's perfect.
And the people that were in there, like the locals, plus the people, everybody was wonderful.
Everyone was so nice. It was such a great day, and like people were excited about vintage. I really didn't know what to expect, but it was so fun. I feel like it filled up my cup.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, but can I talk about the start of the day? My mom and I get up. I'm exhausted. I had showered the night before, so I slept on wet hair, so it was like quite messy. Although my hair is quite messy most days. I don't brush it too often. But I was just in a hoodie. I had my sunglasses on and my hair was slightly askew, but I barely slept. I had woken up at 4 a.m. and just could not get back to sleep. So we got up pretty early, probably like 7, and we decided to go to downtown where my mom lives to take a walk. There's like a waterfront walk. And we grab a coffee at Dunkin', and because that's the only place to really grab a coffee, except I did find a new place to get a coffee in Bucksport, which is, it's fine. So if anyone wants to open up a cafe here, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be
there's a
great.
market. There's a market for that, and the market is me.
Which, with all the coffee you drink,
Yeah,
they do well.
Yeah, I could pay someone's full salary with the amount of coffee I drink. Anyways, we pull up downtown. I roll out of the car. I think I'm wearing these pants and a hoodie.
Yeah,
And my mom rolls out of the car.
my usual
Similarly.
leggings and
Yeah.
all
And
put together. But you were put together pretty much
I thought I was until my mom's friend rolls up next to us.
unexpectedly.
Yeah, so they walk together quite often down on this waterfront, but today they didn't. And when she pulled in, my mom goes, "Uh-oh, she's cheating on us." And she was meeting a different friend. Anyways, this story's going on and on.
Right.
But she gets out of the car and she immediately looks at me and goes, "Oh, your vintage market's today." And I was like, "Yep." And she's like, "You gonna brush your hair for that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I didn't even know how to react. And then she's like, okay, cool. And then her friend pulls up and meets her, and she introduced me, and she's like, oh, this is Lynn. You know Lynn. This is Hilary, her daughter. She normally looks way more put together than this. Excuse I will admit when I feel like I'm not feeling put together, but I didn't feel that bad yesterday. I was not like that disheveled to my knowledge, but man, I guess I look too good all the time, and that's the lesson I'm taking. I was like, I'm just going for a walk with a coffee. My God, I didn't know I had to get a glam squad out here.
The first time I met some of your dad's relatives, it was probably like a holiday gathering, and there were quite a few people like there. And your dad said to the whole assembled group when he introduced me, or shortly after, Lynn's hair doesn't usually look like this.
Rude.
Because I hadn't curled it or something.
It was just flat.
I guess so. Lynn's
Wait,
hair
was this
doesn't usually look like
Was this mushroom cut phase? She did have a mushroom.
I did have a mushroom cut phase, but that was not when I was courting your dad.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't exist.
I don't think I would have been courting your dad. Courting.
Courting.
Yeah.
Well, I have one more anecdote about yesterday. Anecdote? Is that the right word?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. I used the big word correctly. I used the big word correctly.
Right.
To end the day, this older woman at the vintage market, we were exhausted and we were eating pizza afterwards, and this older woman just comes up to me and goes, I love you. You're very unique. Thank you. I'm still processing that. To start my day with, I was perceived a lot yesterday, and I still don't really know how I feel about either of those interactions.
They were funny.
Yeah, I think the unique comment was meant as a compliment, but it was such a funny thing to say to someone, and it could go many different directions.
Yes.
You're so
you are unique.
Okay.
You're
Stop
quite
pursuing
unique.
me. You're unique too.
You are your grandmother's daughter.
For context.
For context.
For context, she came into my room one day in this room in high school. I had all my clothes out. I had all my you can't see it in this frame, but there's and every time we record this, I have to take all of my mom's clothes off of the wall because there's a bunch of hangers up here, and I had hung up all of my jackets, and she just walks in. She's like, you are your grandmother's daughter. And I said, no, you are. My grandmother had she loved fashion and had a lot of options, and so that was what she was referencing, but she did it poorly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, what are we going to talk about today?
Exercise.
Yeah, because we're both big into fitness and exercise, so we thought we'd do a whole segment on it.
We have a lot to say.
Yeah.
But this all stemmed from yesterday. I've been watching a lot of TikTok, and I've been seeing a lot of people on mini trampolines, and I showed up here to my mom's house yesterday, and I thought, wow, I really want a mini trampoline. I almost thought I should ask her for one for my birthday, but then I was like, I think she has one.
But instead, I gave you one for your birthday.
That's what I'm getting for
That's
my
what
birthday.
you're getting.
Yeah, better than nothing, I guess.
I'm sorry, I can't roll with that.
I lost my train of thought.
Mini trampoline.
Yeah. Okay, so my stepdad's like, oh, that's actually behind the garage outside. How many years?
No, he said, it's under the lean-to, and you said, the what? Where's that?
I didn't know it existed, but
She lived here for a few years, and we've lived here for 20 plus.
Now I know.
And you can see the lean-to from this window, but...
You can? Oh, yeah!
The lean-to, where's that?
I know what a lean-to is. I've stayed in them before. But I've never once looked at my own, I guess. Anyways, he rolled out a trampoline and I've been jumping on it. And when he pulled it out first, I screamed to my mom, "Mom, come look at me!" And she never did. And I felt like my inner child was
Wounded once again.
Yeah. But
I didn't hear her.
yeah, it's true. She can't hear as well anymore.
I can't move this well.
Yeah, well, I knew she wasn't going to be using the mini trampoline because she can't even walk upstairs. No offense, but
No offense.
but I was like, if that trampoline still exists at this house, it is not getting jumped on.
Right.
And what's a trampoline to do when no one's jumping on it?
I know.
Just get Rusty out back in the lean-to.
Okay. So
Next topic.
that's all we're going to say. Oh, so I'll tell you a trampoline story. It's not that great, but so you can fast forward if
Oh,
you
great.
want to.
This is good content for the podcast. I'm going to tell you a story. It sucks, but stick around if you want to.
One day when Ryan was about 13, it was a hot summer day in Surrey, and I was in one of my deeply exhausted states of mind. And Ryan said, Daniel and I are going to go swimming up to the swimming hole on Patton Pond Road. I didn't even know where it was. And I said, okay. And they were going to ride their bikes up there. And then I lay down and I was falling asleep and I popped up. Well, I probably didn't pop up too fast. I'm like, why did I just say he could go to a swimming hole? For God's sake. Alone? No. And I get in my car and my head was just blurry, foggy. And I drive by the swimming hole and they weren't there. So I convinced myself they were drowned. And as only a mother could do when she's made a bad decision.
Yeah.
And, but then I drove over by where his friend lived, and they had a big trampoline in the front yard, which is the only connection to the story, really. And he was there. He was fine. There was no trauma. They'd gone swimming for a little bit, and they'd come out. But they invited me to stay to supper. And Ryan's friend was one of my students. And so I did. And after supper, they had a trampoline out on the front yard.
Yeah.
And they're like, why didn't you get up on it? Why didn't you jump on it?
The parents?
No,
Or the kids? Oh, why don't you jump on this trampoline?
the kids. Ryan and Daniel. I can't even. But
Did you?
so I get on the trampoline and I could not figure out. I couldn't bounce. I could not bounce. Because I now know
Well,
I have a problem. I can't bounce. It's been diagnosed.
Bounceless.
It's been diagnosed. I
Bounceless.
can't bounce. Right, I'm bounceless.
Yeah.
But that was
should
like
we clarify that you have a muscle condition?
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay, cool. We don't have to clarify anything. She just bounceless.
I'm bounceless.
Yeah.
So I just remember just trying to like, why can't I do this? I mean, I didn't understand why I couldn't bounce. But first of all,
that's a very frustrating feeling.
why is let's say Ryan was 13. He was, all right. Why is a 40-plus-year-old woman who's in like a exhausted fog agreeing to eat dinner at parents of her student's house that she didn't really know and then getting on a trampoline?
That's a question only you can answer.
Yeah. And I impulsive. So
Sounds like a good time. Free dinner and a little jump. I don't see the problem. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So that was the last time I
Did
got
you?
on the
I just
trampoline.
am trying to picture you getting off the trampoline and onto the
I don't-
trampoline. Neither of those things are graceful.
I don't know, but I used to jump on one of those little mini trampolines though down in my basement when
No,
Ryan was little.
Oh, I thought.
Down
Is
in-
it the same
When I
one?
lived in Springvale, no.
Oh.
When I lived in Springvale, I had a loud cassette tape
They'd play.
that I play.
That's
and
what
I
I'm going to be
bounce.
doing with Chapel Rowan, though.
And I used to be able to even like move my legs back and forth, not just go up and down. Those were the days.
I literally had to picture that in my head. I'm like back and forth, up and down.
I couldn't even jump and move my arms at the same time.
Oh my god! Did you do it every day?
Oh, for a time. I probably had a chart.
Ugh, this is not giving me hope for my future with my new mini trampoline.
Sorry.
I'm gonna throw my headphones on and I'm gonna be jumping around. I can't wait. It's gonna be the best. I've already done it. Oh, well, I haven't done it today yet. I actually thought about starting this podcast with me jumping on the trampoline.
Well, we can add it in.
Yeah, that's what the people want to see. A grown woman on a mini trampoline.
Did I tell on the podcast the story about when Annie had me exercise and I backed up?
I don't think you have. You backed up? I don't think so. Is my hair doing anything weird?
I'll have to call my friend and see how you look.
It's a roaring yes.
Yeah. So it was a Sunday morning, and I was, you children were probably in like 8 or 9, 10, and you were probably in that range. And I was feeling down, and I went down to my parents' house, and they were getting ready to go to church. And my mother suggested that I sweat to the oldies with Richard Simmons. So I put the cassette in, or else it was Jane Fonda. It was one of the two.
Both icons.
Yeah. And so they leave, and I'm sitting on the couch. Oh, my God. My mother was a big exerciser.
She was very athletic.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, my God, okay, she's probably right. So I put the videotape in the slot, and I start flailing around to Richard Simmons. And my mother had this coffee table that went up and down. It could be raised, and it was a nice one. It was like walnut wood, and it was really nice. Anyway, Richard told me to step back, 1, 2, 3, back. And the back of my leg hit that table. I fell down. Top broke off. Just went.
And that's the last time she ever exercised.
Oh my
Wow.
God. And then of course, I didn't have any money to repair it. Was probably,
Yeah.
it was expensive, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh God. My parents get back from church, and I'm like in my 40s, for goodness sakes. Like a little kid. Mom, I broke the table. Or I was probably thinking, if you hadn't told me to exercise, this wouldn't have even happened.
Oh my God.
So I always would try to I always tried to keep up with my mom with that kind of exercise stuff.
Yeah.
Like I tried.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. She was very rigid about it. I mean, it helped because Ozzy was also pretty athletic, right? Because they would do
They
things
tried
together.
to keep themselves
Annie
in
was
shape.
the first person to ever teach me what yoga was. Because we took a walk down to the beach together, and she would. Maybe I've said this on the podcast. I can't remember. My God. But I remember her the first time I ever saw someone do yoga. She did her yoga poses, but then she sat cross-legged and started going, with her eyes closed, and I was like, what's going on? What is happening? But then she taught me about what it was, and I was like, oh, it's actually kind of peaceful and nice. Good for you.
Yeah.
And I never got into it again.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you talking about breaking something at Annie and Ozzy's house and then feeling like a little kid reminded me that Courtney and I, one time, I wish Courtney was here so she could verify this story. If you're listening, please tell me. I think this is true. Right? But I remember we would take pillows and sit on them and go down the stairs really fast at Annie and Ozzy's house because they had wooden stairs, so they were super slippery. So we would fly down the stairs. And one time we were doing that, and we broke a picture frame off of the wall because they had like a gallery wall up the staircase, and for some reason we put it back on the wall.
Of course you did.
And then Annie was like, who broke this? And we could not admit it forever because we were so scared. We're like, I don't know. Who would do that? Who would do that and put it back on the wall? It's just clearly shattered glass. Anyways.
So you were not exactly an athlete, but I tried to help you in your pursuits.
Yes. So I did sports growing up, but I've never had that like natural athletic ability that most of my family members
Yeah, minus your
did.
mother.
Yeah, minus my mom.
Your dad wasn't too athletic, was
No,
he?
no, no. Yeah. Neither of you were like sports parents, so it didn't
No.
really like it didn't have Ryan got into sports though. I think
Right.
both of us got into it because our cousins were
Right.
into sports. So it was we were surrounded by sports people.
Right.
But yeah, so I played probably the sport I did the most was softball. And I was on a little league team, and my mom decides that she's going to help me practice. And
I
unfortunately,
think this is before you were on the team. I think you were smaller.
I think I was too.
Yeah.
Now that you're saying that, I think I was like maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But my mom, I always wanted to play catch with my brother or my dad, and then my mom's like, "I'll play catch with you," and hits me right in the mouth with a softball so hard. I get a fat lip. So hard.
We go inside.
We go inside. She takes care of it. I'm crying, whatever. She's like, "Let's go back out."
Yeah, always got to get back on the horse.
Hit me again.
Right in the mouth.
What do you know? Same spot. I was done for.
You know what?
Needless to say, I'm not sure we ever played catch again.
No, I don't think so. But you know what I'm remembering about that too was that I was telling the story on Monday morning in the teacher's room, and one of my colleagues who didn't care for me, but that's superfluous to the story, sort of, is like, you were playing catch with Hillary? Like, she couldn't believe that I, of all people, would be
Yeah.
out there playing catch.
Yeah. I mean, I'm shocked too. I'm not gonna lie. I think that whole room was probably shocked at that thought. Like, oh, she's trying. She's really
I
trying.
was trying to be a good mother, a good sports mother. Bashed you in the head twice.
Not a natural sports mom.
No.
I had this just reminded me that when I played softball in middle school, shout out Team Pix Pizza. I was at practice and I was talking to someone and I had my glove up like this and someone threw a ball. It just landed directly into my glove. Didn't you? I was just talking and I was like, okay. Natural athlete? Okay. Like it changed my life. I was like, this is a miracle. Probably the only catch I ever made in softball.
It changed your life.
It was a pivotal moment in my life, my childhood.
I didn't get to see too many of your games. I went to one or two of them.
Yeah.
Because you lived with your dad.
Yeah.
Far away, so we couldn't get to all your games. But I remember you out there in your Pix Pizza uniform.
I just didn't have like a lot of confidence.
No.
I feel like if I had confidence, I could have killed it. I could have nailed it.
So what athletic ability do you think is your best?
I can't think of a single.
But you can dance, can't you?
Dance?
Like dance, like at a restaurant?
Dance at a restaurant?
I mean,
Like a strip club?
like you can
Dance at a restaurant? What are you talking about?
when you were dating and stuff, and you'd go out and
Dating?
dance. I guess I'm getting.
I grew up in the 1970s?
I got you mixed up with me for a minute.
I would not say I could dance. No.
You would not say you can dance.
Wait,
Can you slow dance?
can I slow dance? This is hard-hitting journalism, you guys. Can you slow dance?
Not very well. Never could. Never will.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. I always wanted to be a dancer.
You did?
Yeah. There's so many. You have so many home movies.
Of course. What's wrong with me?
She really paid attention a lot to my wants and needs as a child, as we're learning over the last couple of episodes. I always wanted to be a dancer, but especially in middle school, but you guys couldn't afford to put me in dance class. And it's not even that. It's expensive, but it was also that the scheduling was Dad couldn't solo bring me to classes or anything. So I never got to do it. But my friend Abby knew this story, and she gifted me a couple of years ago a gift card to a dance studio in Portland so I could fulfill my childhood dream
really
of
sweet.
taking a dance class, which is so nice. Gotta say, I haven't done it yet.
Is the certificate still good?
I think so, yeah.
Because I'd like to be there.
Well, you're not invited.
You're going to put that on your to-do list.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, now I feel like obligated now that I've said it on the pod. But yeah, Abby actually recently, we were talking about it, and I have a friend taking a dance class now there, her first dance class. So, yeah, I think I'm ready.
Remember when you were doing piano lessons and you did a recital over a weekend at Kneisel Hall in Blue Hill?
Kneisel Hall?
That's the name of it. They have they have professional performers come there, but not that you were a professional.
They did have me come there. You're right.
Anyway, it was one of those things where the parents had to come with the kids for the weekend and participate in some way. And I remember I literally started crying. We had to do the parents, I guess, had to do this little, I call it a dance. It was probably 2-3 steps you had to turn. 1 lift, 2 lift, 3. I couldn't do it.
You literally cried?
I literally got teary-eyed.
At my recital?
It wasn't your recital. It was like a workshop. But it's like, it was so embarrassing.
Oh,
Anybody
Mom.
else could do it. I can only hold 2 steps in my head. You know, if you're going to do one,
barely
2,
that.
3, if you're going to do 3 different movements, forget it.
Yeah. You forget it.
So you don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that at all. Didn't you dance at the didn't you dance with other teachers at the talent show?
Yeah, but that's different. That was like
As like raisins?
heard it through
Am
the
I
grapevine.
wrong?
Yeah, but we had bags over. We had green garbage bags.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was like, it's okay. It's okay. I can dance
If you're being funny, yeah, I think that's how I feel too. Like I'm not out there seriously dancing at the restaurants.
Right.
If I'm at the restaurant dancing, I'm doing it to be funny, never to be serious.
Notice the body language, people. She just sat up taller than me to kind of overlord me.
Oh, I thought you meant because I was like this.
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, if you're listening to our podcast and they're not noticing,
Okay.
they can only hear my body language. I'm like noticing. You guys, be honest. Does my hair look too puffy? I think I'm self-conscious today about my hair. I wonder why. Liz. It's okay. None of your friends listen to our podcast because they don't understand it. Okay, so back to sports. I kind of want to circle back to yoga.
Okay, because I got a lot to say about it.
Can I ask if you've ever taken a yoga class?
Yes, you can ask, and yes, in my classroom during mini courses. The problem for me is if I get on the floor, I can't get up.
Yeah, you're there for life.
But I just don't have patience for
You say this, but you've been on the floor a lot and you've gotten up. Right now, you're still up.
Yeah, I'm still here.
But no, it's a harder thing for you to get up off the floor. Although I am just having this kind of epiphany that Faith, my cousin's wife, is a yoga instructor, and I'm thinking this would make some good content having her instruct you and I in a yoga class.
She's willing.
So I watched Annie do yoga a lot, and I've tried doing yoga on my own quite often, but I also have muscle problems, so it's not intuitive for me, and it's harder for me to do certain things. Anyways, I went to Camp Man Repeller. If you're listening and you know about Man Repeller, my friend and I, we had just met, and we realized we both read this fashion blog called Man Repeller. We go. I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but at this camp where all of the quote unquote camp counselors were all,
Which was in New York City?
it was in the Adirondacks.
Okay.
In upstate New York. All of these camp counselors were writers for this blog I love. So they're kind of like celebrities to me because I'm like, oh, they're writers and they had like cool outfits that they'd always post, whatever. And So we had all these activities we had to sign up for, and Jill, my friend that I went with, wanted to do a yoga class. So I was like, yeah, I guess I'll do it. I had never done an actual in-person class before. I'd only done YouTube videos, and there are probably 100 people in this room doing yoga
Oh,
all
wow.
together. There's actually there were. Band Repeller doesn't exist anymore, so I don't know if the photos are gone for good on their. It was on maybe their Facebook page or something, or on their website. Anyways, long story short, out of 100 people in the room, the instructor kept having to come to me only to correct my posing and be like, this is a little wrong. You're going to have to like move. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I look so hot and cool right now. But, and meanwhile, I like look up and see all of my like writing idols around me doing like
swear
the
I've never heard
perfect poses, like looking beautiful and cool. And I was like, this is my literal nightmare. Why would I sign up for this?
I know.
Awful. I also signed up for a meditating thing. I didn't want to. I wanted to do tie-dye, but I signed up too late. And so I had to go meditate, and I could not do it. I was like, my brain is like, I'm like peeking with my eyes open because they're like telling you to close your eyes. I'm like, is everyone closing their eyes? Am I the only one? Like, I can't.
I don't get how meditation works at all. My brain could never slow down.
I try to meditate. I use a meditation app. And sometimes I can get to like a slight spot, but I think people with ADHD can.
Yeah, it's got to be a challenge.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, but at least if you're meditating in a group, they're not so apt to notice people standing out that they're doing it wrong. Correct?
Oh no, yeah, they don't know that I'm like in my head. Like, what are we doing? Why does this grass feel like this? Meditation is supposed to be like acknowledging your surroundings and like hearing and feeling and all your senses, but when like literally every sense is going off and then all of your somehow your childhood trauma and then like remembering that you didn't do something before you left and then like, well, like that's not relaxing. Nothing about that is relaxing.
Sorry, it seems like as your mother I shouldn't be laughing about any of that.
No, but it is like, it's funny. It is funny. I'm like, I cannot sit here and relax. Are you kidding me? But anyways, that was my story about my first ever yoga class, and it still haunts me. I pay for one of those writers that was in the room. I pay for her Substack and her podcast, and people write into her, and I've thought about writing into that to her to tell her that story because like she doesn't.
You should
know
write
who I
that
am.
story. I mean, that's a good story to write.
Yeah,
About
maybe I will.
all of that.
But yeah. I also, when I was reading my diaries from last week, or whenever we recorded,
A couple weeks ago.
a couple weeks ago, I wrote in my diary that I had 4 assists in my basketball game. No big deal. What am I, a basketball queen?
You probably wouldn't even believe it if somebody had told you that, but you wrote it.
Yeah, I wrote it
So
down.
it had to be true.
Unless I lied to like make future me proud, and it worked. Much like you probably did. Dirty little liar.
So funny. Lied to make future me proud.
Oh my god, should we talk about this has nothing to do with sports.
Just a hair on my microphone.
Oh, I see it. Oh, you got it. I think it was a dog hair. Or your hair. It's hard to tell the difference. Okay. This story has nothing to do with sports, but I'll just do a small, like, little quip. Last week when we were going through all my diaries together, I found a check. I found a check tucked into my diary that I never cashed. Should we say how much it was for?
Hey, it was your check.
Over $3,000 back from my college I went to. I don't think I'd ever seen that much money in my life, and I got scared and I put it in my journal. And I thought, it's better not be with me. Better tucked away. Better tucked away and hidden than in my bank account as a poor college student. My God, what is wrong with me?
I know. This is like the epitome of a story about titled "What is Wrong with Hillary?"
Literally, I was like, I'm flabbergasted. I'm mailing it to my college to see if I can still get a
If she
check.
can
I'm
still
like, can I still get this check? Like, can I get a reissue? What is wrong with me?
I think that's the
It was
point of these podcasts.
It was pre-mobile deposit, so
Right,
it's
'cause
not
it
even
was
like
from-
a way I could have like deposited.
Wasn't it from like 2009?
Yes.
That's 15 years ago. And it
I-
feels like they would have reached out and said, hey, how come you didn't...
Well, clearly I would not be
Like,
opening
in
that
your
mail.
defense, it kind of looked like a bill.
Thank you.
But
I think I saw that
it
check.
wasn't a bill. It was a
It's
check.
a full check.
Yeah.
Could really use that right now.
Yeah, like
This job's not paying anything.
Anthem sent me a check for like 2 cents once, and I cashed it.
Yeah.
No, that's a lie. I didn't cash it. I held on to it.
What?
Because I just realized I think I have it in my folder because it was so bizarre. Like,
Why did you just lie to me?
I thought I cashed it when I started talking.
Oh my
But by the time I
God.
got to the end of the sentence,
Is this what getting residuals is like? Because you get like a random check for like $5 sometimes because your show played once on air.
yeah, I think.
Huh.
Anyway. Yeah, like that is like one of the craziest stories ever.
Wait,
And
this
that
is
I was a witness to it.
I know I
It
can't.
happened live on the pod.
I
Like,
actually
that says a lot about you.
I actually wrote it down to talk about in therapy next week.
Yeah.
I must have thought it was a bill.
You couldn't deal.
Yeah. To be
You
fair,
must have thought it was
to
a
be
bill
fair-
because if you
wait, to be fair, in this same exact time period, my dad died. So I do think I probably just didn't deal with a lot of things.
yeah, maybe.
Because he died like 2 months after I received that check.
I'm sorry for laughing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's a connect. I'm not sure there's a connection there.
Why? Not dealing with something?
No, I just don't know. I just don't know. I just think it was so wildly weird that you didn't cash this check.
I'm not
And that you
arguing that point.
totally-
It's crazy.
Totally spaced it.
And the fact that I tucked it into a diary.
Yeah. It's really kind of fascinating.
I know what. There's something seriously
If
wrong
you
with me.
can get reimbursed for that,
I will lose my mind.
stay tuned.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know. I'll throw a party. Anyways, back to sports.
To sports.
I do have this thing with vintage. I love finding a vintage, nondescript sports item. Like yesterday, I actually sold a girl a shirt that I collected from probably like early '90s that just said baseball.
Nice. I didn't see that.
It just said like I think it's
It
so.
spoke to you.
I think it's so funny when something just says like a sport, like it's just announcing that a sport exists. It's not for a team. It's not like a specific thing. It just says baseball.
You ever have one that just says field hockey?
If I could pick any sport, that's probably like the lowest tier of
Okay.
sport I would choose to put on a shirt. But
I want a shirt that says ping pong.
I think I could make that happen
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. Because that was the one sport
That is the
in my entire life that I could do.
wait. I do have to say that your bowling game, pretty good. Not anymore, maybe.
It was only luck.
No, you have to be vaguely
and the-
skilled to do bowling.
Vaguely.
I mean, I guess you like can be
That
like
is like the highest sports compliment I could ever get. It's- Mom, you're vaguely skilled at bowling.
title of the episode.
I'm proud. Yes. I'm proud to say. And then remember that time we went bowling with your stepdad and the whole family, and I was so excited because I beat him in one string, and your stepdad, who's not usually like this, like literally said to me, "Well, no, if you average our scores for the evening,
You didn't win.
You didn't beat me."
What a sore loser. I remember that was such a monumental moment for you because it is it's in my head that you won bowling that night.
Thank you.
Yeah. It
Thank
is.
you.
I was like,
I think
my mom's not good at sports. Well, she won bowling that one night.
right. She is vaguely skilled.
She's vaguely skilled.
That's even hard to say.
She's vaguely good at bowling. Okay?
I used to go bowling on dates in the 70s.
It's kind of a fun date.
That was oh yeah, real fun when you're when you're only vaguely skilled.
Hey, being vaguely skilled is.
And then I used to just go to the bowling alley, not on dates, but with my friends. We would go hang out. That was fun.
Would you bowl or do you just hang
were
out and
hanging out.
enjoy the vibe?
I was enjoying the vibe.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it was probably like 25 cents a string. I do remember feeling, and I still feel that way, vaguely creeped out by the shoes that you had to put on.
Oh yeah, it's kind of weird. You
That's
still have to do
kind of weird.
that. Yeah. You know, a lot of people like. Wait, I'm just remembering that Abby asked me if I wanted to do like a community bowling league recently, and I said
No.
no. I said yeah, I want to do it. I love bowling. I'm not good at it, but I love community and I love
This
bowling.
is my daughter who will just jump on something and suddenly she's involved with that. Add one more thing to the list. It's like that game Jenga. You keep adding until it all falls down. I got into
You're taking. Wait, Jenga, you're taking. I guess you're taking, then you're adding.
I think I got into that analogy and couldn't stop.
You're that is not a good analogy. Wait, Jenga, you're taking, and then you're adding.
Yeah. But
So.
my idea is like all of a sudden you take on something else. I mean, last night, for example, I had no idea Hillary was into puppets.
To be fair, I didn't know I was into puppets that much.
And the subject turned to puppets. Next thing you know, Hillary's like, I love puppets. That was before the woman told her, I love you. You're really unique. But anyway,
That was right before. Maybe this is starting to make
puppet
sense.
thing.
I got real into puppets.
next thing you know, Hillary's
Puppet
trying to
talk.
find out when the puppet show is and thinking about making puppets.
No, I'm not. I don't want to make puppets.
I think, well, we
I
talked
want to
about.
enjoy puppets.
No, remember we talked about making puppets with vintage clothes?
Oh no, but I would outsource.
That would be fun.
But if I had a puppet, listen, hear me out. This is my marketing plan for my vintage store. I get a puppet made that looks like a Muppet puppet. And maybe it looks
Copyright.
maybe it looks like me, and I think I'm inspired by this girl on TikTok I follow. I cannot remember her handle, but she has a puppet of her and it's iconic. She makes puppets. She's the coolest. But then hire a seamstress to make tiny versions of my vintage inventory, and the inventory is just modeled by the puppet on my Instagram and my TikTok. And it seems worth the money and the material and the time.
See, this is like we sliced open the top of your head and looked into your ADHD brain.
I think there's
That
I think there's a little puppet in my head.
Yeah, that is exactly how our brains work.
Yeah.
And anybody who has, like goes from one thing to the other, and we have these grand ideas, and some of them we actually follow through on.
Don't act like give me time with the puppet thing.
I'll give you some time, but it's somebody's going to steal it.
You can get custom Muppets that look like you made. I've looked into this. They're very
Which
expensive.
custom Muppet would I be, Miss Piggy?
No, they make it to look like you. So yeah, Miss Piggy. No, they make it.
Elmo.
I guess Elmo is
Bert?
technically a Muppet, but
What do you mean? He's definitely a Muppet.
No, I know,
The
but-
Muppet Show.
Elmo's not a part of of that. He's Sesame Street.
Oh. Never mind.
He technically is a Jim Henson puppet, but he's not actually a Muppet. Get your puppets straight.
Okay.
Anyways, is puppets a sport?
Puppetry
Puppetry, yeah.
could
Sports
could be a sport and an art.
I would watch sports on TV if it was all puppets on the field and they were playing the sport. I'd watch puppet football. That's how I would get.
Puppet cooking.
I'm talking sport.
Can you see a puppet driving a car?
Martha Puppet.
Martha?
Martha Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
Puppet driving a car? For what? Like a race car? Like
Yeah.
puppet racing. If I want all of my TV, all of it, to just be puppets. I want I want Seinfeld puppets. The
I
Office
just want to meet
puppets.
Geppetto.
He
He wasn't a puppet.
No, he wasn't.
He's
but
a-
he could. He's the master.
he's a
the
puppet maker.
master. And oh my God, Geppetto, if you're listening, I'm looking for some puppets to be made.
Some people just turned off this podcast. And they're saying to themselves, why didn't I turn it off 30 minutes ago? If you're one of these people, they won't know because they turned it off. Never mind.
Yeah. If you made it through that, thank you. Oh my God. I felt like I had other sports related things to say, but now all I'm picturing in my head right now, the only thing going on in my head is now a entire Super Bowl that's simply puppets.
It'll
Even
be
the
so cool.
the halftime show, puppets. Britney Spears, puppet.
Okay, I think you're wearing out the poor puppet theory. Theme.
Okay. Next topic. That's what you would say to me.
Yeah.
Do we have any more topics?
I don't know.
Wait. I do have more. I feel like I have more sports. Oh. I do. I can't believe I didn't bring this up when we were talking about getting hit in the mouth with a softball. So my brother was a baseball player through high school and like middle school, high school, whatever. And in high school, he got hit in the mouth with a baseball. Not funny. But
Definitely not funny.
he got hit pretty
I
hard.
love this. Not funny.
He got pretty hard. Oh my God.
Carry on. Carry on.
He got hit hard in the face with a baseball. Woo! He got hit hard in the face with a baseball. And our grandmother, my dad's mom, had just had a stroke. This is important to it. My brother's name is Ryan. So my brother goes to the hospital to get stitches on his mouth because he got hit so hard it like split open and slip. And he goes to the hospital, gets stitches, and about 2 days later we get a card in the mail that says Doug.
Which is
Doug.
not his name.
Yeah, my brother's name's Ryan. Doug, I hope your surgery went well. Love, Nana. One, name is Ryan, not Doug. Two, he got stitches, not surgery. It wasn't that bad. I don't think I'd laugh harder in my life than reading Doug. I wish we still had the card. Doug, I hope your surgery went well. Love, Nana.
I wonder where she got the name Doug because it's not like in the family.
There's no Doug. It's just like I wish Ryan's name was Doug.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh, anyways, we love getting hit in the face with balls, I guess, in this family. You're gonna make me cut that out.
I'm saying nothing. I ain't got
Anyways.
nothing.
Well, how are you feeling about the sports app?
I knew we'd have a lot to talk about.
This
Not.
conversation got derailed.
Yeah. But no, I think it went fine. And bravo to anybody who stuck it out to the end.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We love you, and thank you for the support. And next episode, it's just we're gonna put two puppets in place of us with microphones.
That would be funny. I just want to say one more thing about my epitaph, which I would like to be. She was nothing if not a good sport.
All right. Love
Thank
it.
you, and good night.
Thank you and good night. Thanks for listening. And thank you, Dead Gowns, for our song. And thank you to me for editing this. And thank you to you for listening. Bye.